Commercial beekeepers do this by using huge fans and dehumidifiers in specially designed buildings. I accomplish the same thing in my garage using a $25 Fred Meyer box fan.
Buzz.
All summer long, our honeybees were collecting nectar from flowers. The moisture content of this nectar is at least 50% and can be as high as 90%. Constant fanning by the colony causes evaporation, and the moisture content is eventually reduced to about 18%. When it's ready, they cap the cells with wax. When beekeepers harvest honey, we want the frames to be at least 80% capped. That lets us know that the moisture content is low enough that the honey can be stored indefinitely without fear of fermentation. Sometimes, especially late in the season, bees take longer to cap the nectar. As natural sources of nectar get scarce, colonies can quickly consume uncapped honey, leaving the beekeeper with empty honeycomb. The good news is that we can harvest uncapped honey, then finish the dehydration process at home. This is a great example of frame. It's got nectar in it. It's got lots of nectar in it, but it's not capped. This one's pretty heavy. Same deal. It's not capped. It's filled with nectar, a little bit capped. Commercial beekeepers do this by using huge fans and dehumidifiers in specially designed buildings. I accomplish the same thing in my garage using a $25 Fred Meyer box fan. I stack the honey boxes over a screened bottom board and lay a box fan over them, pointed down. Lay the box fan right on there. Turn it to 3. After 3 days on the highest setting, the constant airflow reduces the moisture content to 18% or less, and I can process the honey. Just for good measure, I'll give it a good shake to see how it's progressing. If no drops of honey shake out, it's ready. Once the honey has the correct moisture content, it's time to extract. The first thing you need is a very warm workspace. Warm honey is much easier to extract. I heat my garage to 90 degrees for 4 hours before I start. The heat is a pain to work in, even in shorts, but getting all of the honey out of the frames quickly makes it all worthwhile. You need to close all the doors and all the windows. The smell of honey will quickly bring in bees and wasps, and they'll aggressively vie for the honey. Extracting late in the evenings and on rainy days helps. You'll need an uncapping tool. I use a fork, but all types work. A plastic bin to catch wax caps and dripping honey, and some type of support above the plastic bin to rest the frame on while you scrape the caps off. I use a piece of 2x2 with a notch that keeps it over the bin. The first step is to remove the wax cappings. The goal is to fully remove the caps without damaging the underlying comb. I like to score the caps horizontally and vertically. When things go right, the wax caps and any dripping honey collect in the tub. I filter the honey that collects in the tub later, and I save the wax cappings to melt down. When all of the caps are removed, I put the frame in my extractor. All extractors, whether they're motorized or simple 2-frame spinners, use centrifugal force to spin out the honey. Depending on the style of your extractor, this can go fairly quickly or may take 5 or 10 minutes per frame. Some extractors require you to remove the frame and flip it around and then spin it again. Motorized extractors like this and simple 2-frame spinners both use centrifugal force to spin out the honey. The extracted honey is drained into a bucket through a valve on the bottom of the extractor. The wax cappings, and sometimes a few bees, float to the top. I scoop them onto a filter for a few minutes to drain, then clean the filter and pour the rest of the honey through. Look at it down from the top a little bit too. The honey frames will mold if they're not cleaned up. I put mine outside, at least 50 feet away from the hives, and let the bees happily devour every drop. The frames are perfectly clean in about a day, and I can store them away until next summer. I hope you enjoyed the video.